At RaiseCredit.com, you'll learn how to acquire credit and how to use that credit to build a better life. When you're done, you'll create asset protection to keep the life you really want. RaiseCredit.com. Get the knowledge you need to succeed and keep your hard work. RaiseCredit.com.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Ray Reynolds here with RaiseWebinar.com. Ultimate goal. I want to get you to the $1 million dream. Not hard to do if you know how. Problem is everybody talks about it. Well, let's get you $1 million of credit. Is that okay? Then we'll finance the business. Why? Corporate credit, you can write it off, interest rate too, and borrowed money is not taxable. Hopefully you wrote that down. Keep in mind most of this stuff's protected. Get a tablet and a pen as we begin. I want you to think about something. What happened in your life today, yesterday, in the past? Did you fall down? Did you start a business? Did someone get in your way or try to take it away from you? I want you to plan the problem. I've done this all my life. You know, I've heard no a billion times. And if I listen to those dummies, I'm sorry. How am I going to go get my first Lamborghini at 14 and a half, which I did? So the bottom line is, you got to realize, run your race. And it's amazing. What I teach you, you're going to go tell your friends and family, and all of them, they're going to interrupt what you're saying and go, you got to do it this way or that way. You ever notice that most people that talk are blah, blah, blah? You know where they're talking from, right? They're just not doing it. Plan the problem. Safety credit. I'm going to teach you what that means because I want you to teach the world this before I die again. Safety credit. Here's 2 cards, $50,000 apiece. You control your corporate credit, your personal credit too. You actually control the heartbeat of your credit. And if you don't know, guess what you're going to learn today? I can't write off personal credit or interest rates. Every card you got in your personal wallet today, I want a sticky in the back of it. Take one of them out, use it as an example. I want a sticky behind your credit cards you've got. I want you to put the limit. I want you to put 25%. What is that? What's 29%? The moment you jack up any card past 29%, you're dropping your score. By the way, that's on you. You got to learn the rules and the tools, by the way. Now, write down line of defense. You see, when you drive in your city today, you're going to see grocery stores and banks that have been shut down during COVID-19, by the way. So let's understand, that bank or grocery store, they had a bad location, so they bankrupted the piece, wrote it off on their taxes, and they're still in business today. What did most of you do in the past? The business got screwed up, you brought the pain home and went boo-hoo-hoo. Stop it. You're going to learn how to play the game. Write down line of defense, please. Never bring that pain home. That's all I got as a little kid. It sucks. Learn my journey, and I'll basically have your journey begin with me. We're going to call it getting past go, by the way. Now, I started out with Mrs. Hope. She was so sweet. What a name, Mrs. Hope. Can you imagine that? She got her weekly and monthly checks. She dropped me off Redondo Beach Pier starting at the age of 3. She was a she-devil from hell. I didn't like stealing and begging off the pier. Kind of sucked. But let's see what I got to do because I used the brain that God gave me and the total IQ. Well, all right, with total recall on most things. I got my first Lamborghini, by the way, at 14 and a half. Then I got my collection of them too. Then I got my Duffy, my 6 mansions, broke some world records, got my helicopter. I even parked my race boat and my yacht in my backyard. Where you park yours again? See, here's the thing. Oh, don't forget about the Ferraris too. This is the point. I'm born in a taxi. She throws me away like a piece of trash, doesn't really give a damn about me, gives me a girl's name and raised my middle name. I guess I've been pissed off since the day I was born. But I knew I had to get out of hell. So my question to you is, why haven't you done this? Why? I did it. You can do it too. Bottom line is, we're going to call it Irs Rules today. All right, can you write that down, please? Now, I wrote Winning the Game of Business 43 years ago. And I connected the dots by listening to Mrs. Hope's poker game every Wednesday night. They said a corporation's a legal person. Can you write it down, please? I connected the dots. I started helping Hand Industries as a little boy. I got $100,000 of credit in the mail at 9 and a half. Back then, you didn't have to apply for credit. They just sent it in the mail to people and corporations. It's like it was free. But it wasn't. You had to still pay the bill, too. Now, I'd like you to give me 90 days. That's all I want in the beginning. In the beginning, I learned to be at every seminar, workshop, and boot camp for you. I'm not going to pass the buck, but I'm going to hold your hand personally. See, I want to get you to the $1 million direction, what you're supposed to do. All those rules and tools, you have no idea what to do. But we're going to teach you how to play today. Now, I got basically specialty classes, and they're fun. I'm starting to do one every day now. I'm also doing a Q&A class, too. I want to make sure you never get stuck. Bottom line, it's like this. I got $1 million credit for my cat years ago. And we call it Sam Reynolds the Cat with Credit, too. It was fun. Then I got rid of Inc. magazine. You see, they use plastic to finance the business. Here's $10 million. Let's understand something today. If I use personal credit, I can't write it off. And if I jack it up, I hurt my family. If I use corporate credit, I get to write off the card and the interest rate, too. No wonder they wrote up use plastic to finance your business that day. It's about time you learn how to play. Remember something, if you lost your job or have an emergency, what's going to happen next? Sorry to say, you're going to do what everyone does. You're going to run out of time, you're going to run out of money, you're going to jack up your credit again, and you're going to bring the pain home in 42 days. This is true because you don't know how to do it right. Sorry, you're using the wrong money in the first place. Now, I'm the guy that got to train Ken Yarborough, security chief at TRW and Aspirian years ago. That was kind of fun. Maybe today you'll let me train you. Why don't you write down Credit Services Act? Google it later today. It'll take you to the Federal Trade Commission. They'll tell you credit repair is a scam, not allowed to collect money up front. They'll refer to you to the Credit Repair Organization Act, where it says attorneys can't do credit repair. So let's understand something right now. Let's build a relationship and let me help build your dreams. So I need you to pull out your Social Security card. Can you do that for me, please? Come on, ladies. It's in your purse next to your feet. Gentlemen, it's in your back pocket. It's an SSN. The Federal Trade Commission says that 97% are screwed up. Would that be you? Now let's look at that card front and back. It says do not laminate. I love this one. I want you to circle this one a couple times. Do not use for ID purposes. But you put it on an application. What did you do? You broke the rules. Don't carry with you. It's not even yours. Here's the application you filled out like I did as a teenager to get a job. And you know what? It says on the card, if you read it clear, Property or Social Administration, not you. When those creditors use it and abuse it too, guess what happens? They're not supposed to at all. So let me do a refresh. Let me block some of your crap if you have any, push your score up some more. Let me know if you want me to do that for you too. Now, I like to repackage your whole life. I'm talking your house, your car, your bank account, if that's okay with you. Bottom line is this. You've all bought books, How to Make Money and Get Rich. All right? And you all probably mostly spent thousands of dollars on a bunch of blah, blah, blah. Let me do the work for you and hold your hand all the way. Credit saved my life as a kid, as an adult. I've been in 2 comas so far. So let's think about this, money for a rainy day. You ever heard that? When I was a kid, I kept asking, what does that mean? I wanted to know what it meant, and I can't answer the question at all. See, in my life, it doesn't rain, it always pours. I want you to be serious with yourself right now. Let's say today you had an emergency, and you needed $5,000 now. You ask your friends, your family, the bank, they say no. If you would have listened to me when I said years and years ago, safety credit. This card in my hand is worth $5,000, like the one on the screen. If I needed to use it and jack it up to solve a problem, I'd do that today. But then I'd play catch up, not fall down. By the way, the payment on that is $50 a month. The average person wastes that every other day. The world needs to know to have personal credit to be safety anymore. We don't want to jack it up and act like it's free money. It's ridiculous. The average person wastes $140 a week. If that's true, that's $600 a month. If this is $100,000 of credit, they're $50,000 a piece. Can't write off personal credit. Can't write off the card at all. If I had to jack up one of these cards today to solve a problem, the payment is $612.26. The bottom line is this. The average person is wasting that every month. What if they use some common sense and let's go get 2 pizza locations that deliver, have a drive-through, especially during a pandemic? You see, the reality is you don't have to bring the pain home. Just stop wasting money. Bottom line today, plan the problem. It's going to happen no matter what we say or do. There's going to be someone who gets in your way, pisses you off, flips you the bird, whatever it might be, or try to take it away. Come on, you've been through it already so far. Safety credit. Line of defense. See it, believe it, go get it. Remember those grocery stores? Those banks you see in your city today, they've been shut down and you know they're in business and they wrote off and they bankrupted peace and wrote it off on their taxes and you messed up, you brought the pain home, went boo-hoo-hoo. When you see them today, remember me. All you had to do since day one from school is set up the pattern of 3. You would have never brought the pain home, ever. Reach your goals. Believe in yourself. Me, I believe in God and I believe in me. I reached every goal I've ever had by the time I was 26, by the way. And we're talking double billion under corporate structure. Now, I broke the world record for the highest kick in 1981. I can still hold it today. By the way, what did that prove? White men do jump. Unfortunately, silly people say we don't. So remember, when someone says you can't do this or that, God gave you a gift and a dream. Why don't you see it, believe it, and go get it? In other words, get out of your own way. Now, let's go back to your SSN. You got an SSN called a Social Security card to get a job. You got the job so then they can tax you under a 1040 and track your income some more. By the way, that's all it was for. But the creditors use it and abuse it, and some of you do too. That means you have an Aspirian Equifax TransUnion. The moment you jack up a card past 29%, watch your score, it'll drop. And you won't be able to get any more, and you get stuck. Personal credit is not free money. It should never have been used and abused in the first place. All right, don't live off your damn credit. It's if in case blank hits the fan. Then you use it to feed your family. By the way, you've been using the wrong money in the first place if you're going to do a business anyway. SSN, why? Because we're the collateral for the United States of America Incorporated, especially since Nixon took the gold standard out. That tablet and pen, write down Irs Rules again. Write down 100,000 of personal credit. Let's use some common sense and say, oh, I'm only going to use 29%. That would have gave me 71,000 of safety credit in case I lost my job or there's a pandemic. Feed my family up to 2 years. Again, when you take all your money and all your credit to start a business and roll the dice, all that does is hurt the family, sorry to say. Stop bringing the pain home. All I got as a kid was pain. It sucks. So bottom line is, Irs Rules will teach you how to play. Now, my first coma, I was 5.5 years old. I hit the curb with my face going 40 miles an hour, going boom. Got up again. Last coma was 2009. We're billions of dollars under corporate structure. What did I do? We took people on the corporate yacht parked in my backyard to watch the fireworks, and one of them had swine flu and pneumonia, H1N1, and they killed me. The next day I get to die. Kind of sucks. But the bottom line is this. I made a promise to God that day that I'd help people the rest of my life, so he let my heart go beepity-beep one more time. By the way, there's my race boat. There's my yacht. Where you park yours again. See, I'm probably the most verified person you can find on the planet today. I got no excuses. Hell, I haven't had a paycheck for 20 years. I'm keeping my promise. There, I'm in a coma. All right? The bottom line is God let me live. And what did I do when I came out of that coma finally? I walked around for 5 weeks with an oxygen tank, learning to breathe. From there, I put my credit score back to an 820. I popped a $1 million credit card again. Write down closet divisions, please. I master that and teach that in level 3. If I didn't have my closet divisions, let me tell you, I would have took a lot longer to pop a $1 million card. You can play with me and learn the rules too. Now today, we don't get to do anything besides we get to live or die. We don't get a do-over. I'd tell you wear a mask, but that's up to you. Takes a moment to die and a lifetime to live. Pandemic 9, now we got Pandemic 19. Bottom line is, let's go chase the money, please. See, money to me, don't have to steal and beg off the pier. I can feed my family, pay my bills, I can help you. Ultimate thing, they say 9 out of 10 people hate their job anyway. You see, we're getting older, slower, we're not as pretty as we used to be. Go back to the job you hate, it's okay. Eventually they're going to fire you anyway. Then you're going to go what? You're going to deliver some pizza. I don't know that's your American dream. Do yourself a favor and understand flat out. When I got to be with Mrs. Hope from 3 to 10 years old, Every Wednesday night she had a poker game. I listened to the poker game standing outside my bedroom, which is actually the pantry. When they said a corporation's a legal person, write it down. There's 300 ways you can use that, by the way. A corporation's what? A legal what? Person. So I went to the library the next day. I couldn't sleep all night. All right? I went next to the Torrance Police Department, knew there was a library next door. I said, ma'am, would you help me, please? She said, here's a book, here's a microfiche. I read the book, and then I got pissed off. I used the brain that God gave me. All right? IQ off the chart, total recall on most things. The reason I got pissed off, I was hoping to find a blueprint, the rules and the tools. You see, I'm being used and abused physically and mentally as a kid, and it sucks. So I got pissed off because I didn't find my damn blueprint to get out of hell. I bet you spent thousands of dollars, too, getting a book, How to Make Money and Get Rich. Sorry, it doesn't exist unless you get it through mine. Don't worry, God only made one of me. Thank God for that. No one knows what I know today on this planet besides me. Those 12 books and CDs, how I got the first 100,000, how I got the first million, how I got double billion. Now, before the come, I had $841 million of real estate. Under corporate structure, of course. I did want to hit $1 billion that year, but guess what? I got to die instead. Now, I wrote Winning the Game of Business, Buckets of Money and Tax Balancing, too. Don't forget, I wrote Winning the Game of Business years ago, too. Now, here's the thing last year, and I'm donating my time to a company. They all closed the office down because of COVID-19. Most of them went home to get an extra unemployment check. Hell, they got a raise and not work. Well, that's just whatever they want to do. So we found in their warehouse my books and CDs. Now, let's understand. I was at the Bonaventure for 32 years every Wednesday night. There was a line around the hotel. I used to sell my books, CDs, and my classes for about $20,000 a pop. If you want to call the sales team today, they'll sell you all 18 books and CDs for $999. During a webinar, I give you the opportunity to sell during the webinar. All right, so if you want this to real estate, the financial, the Millionaires Founders Kit 2, or all of them, all right, normally I'd give you half price. That's what I'll do today. $499. You get all 18 books and CDs if you Zelled it while I'm doing a webinar. I like Zelle, deposits, and wires. Why? I can track everything. I can expedite everything for you. I don't like merchants. I think they suck. But again, there's the Zelle information today. Take a picture of that page, please. You see, now listen carefully. If you Zelle for that and you Zelle paid in full, I'm going to do a blueprint and I'm going to be the one calling you personally. That'll be free, but that's if you Zelle during the webinar to me. From there, you can tell Gina as well at ray@raisecredit.com, you Zelle for this or that today. Now, what I want to do is rebuild your credit. I want to add all the history. I want to do a rapid rescore, hand you the articles, the also the tax ID. I want to make sure in the workshops listening, putting it here. Every personal card you have today, I want you to put a sticky on the back of the card, 25 to 29%. At the end of the day, I got to make you a qualified CFO. By the time I'm done, you'll be the best one you've ever seen. From there, if you want to make some money, we can talk real estate. We can talk about franchise too. See, a franchise, I'd like you to have one because I want one with the drive-through. They stay open through pandemics. If you don't want to run it, it's okay. Companies will run it for you too. Profit sharing as well. Now, there's 84 ways to leverage money and credit into millions and billions of dollars. And from there, I'll teach you 3 or 4 ways just to get started today. Let's look at a Lamborghini. Look at this car. I got my first Countach at 14.5. Now, this is just one of the Lamborghinis in the collection at the time. They're all company cars. You know what rich and famous people do? They drive company cars and they rot it all off. But what do? Your car is registered to you. Write down you're going to change the registered owner to a division under a tax ID, and you're going to quit being the duck. So let's understand something today. They call your paycheck, I hear, called taxable income, by the way. If you're paying the payment, the gas, registration, insurance, can you yell the word no right away, please? I mean, why wouldn't you be driving a company car like all the rich and famous people do? Oh, you like being the duck. Okay, then bring the pain home some more. SSN equal to job, 1040 tax return. SS4 equals 1120. And we're going to go times 4. Look at line 10. That's my favorite line on that form. It says banking and credit purposes. Do you realize as an affiliate, I get to build you a corporate credit report under Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax? And if I don't get to do it, good luck, because you won't be able to do it at all. But that's up to you, too. Remember those grocery stores, those banks today? How'd they get rid of that piece and stay in business and write it off? You don't get it. They wrote off the loss on the taxes. Hell, they're still in business today. If you screwed up your business and brought the pain home, went boo-hoo-hoo. It's about time you learn the pattern of 3. And don't think because of the pandemic. Chase Bank's been closing over 100 locations per year. B of A, too. It's right in front of you. So let's understand something today. Now, here's your corporation with 3 divisions and line of defense. Write it down. Draw the blueprint in front of you, please. I wrote the rules in '86. If everybody, especially the ones that are opening and closing their businesses today that are getting screwed up, if they had it as a division, they'd have other pieces too, and they never bring the pain home. But unfortunately, they guarantee their business personally, and they're filing personal bankruptcy, business bankruptcy, they're bringing all the pain home. I'm trying to help as many as I can. If you set up the line of defense, and we got a problem with the division today, we can disconnect, isolate, incorporate. And what do we get to do? Keep the other pieces and never bring the pain where? Home. Why would we ever bring the pain home when we don't have to? I don't get this. Here's what I offer, and you better listen carefully. I'm the only one on the planet that can take an SS4, register an Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, and build a corporate credit report for you. You get to write off the card, the interest rate, too. You want to play? Let me know something today. Bottom line is we got to look at SS4 times 4. Never name a corporation after you. Don't name her what it does. We got to set up the line of defense. If you got 5 pieces of property, guess what? Someone slips and falls and they sue you and take it all, or the corporation too. If we put them all in divisions, we separate the piece. So the one that slips and falls, we get to disconnect the piece, keep the other pieces too. Kind of like a franchise that has a number to it. Your current business. I want to build you up to $100,000 to $1 million card, if you allow me to. I want you to personally take your personal credit called safety, get up to $100,000, put a sticky behind every card, and never jack it up again. Never hurt your family, never bring the pain home. Irs Rules are pretty simple. SSN equal to what? All right, 1040 tax return. That's all it was for. SS4 times 4. And what does it say on line 10 again? Oh, by the way, it's right in front of you again. Line 10, banking and credit purposes. We get to write off the card, the interest rate, and the line of credit too. But please don't be one of those 6 out of 100 people. I add history all the time. And then they get these things in the mail. Or they basically get some green lights and they go poppity pop. And they screw up everything. She's a nice lady. All right, I got her to the 687. Getting ready to push it to a 720. Get her a $30,000 card. She wanted, oh, I'll do it on my own now, Ray. Thank you. She got a $300 card, like half of you do. Remember, unless you have the history, that's all you're going to get. Here's a guy, everything he had was crap. We sealed the record, we pushed it up, told him to get an open sky. All I got him at the time was a 621. Because of the histories, I knew I could pop him a card. Now, I only owe him $1,000, but his starter card I got him was $3,000. How'd I do so far? If you want credit rebuilding today, I'm going to get you up to an 820. Office sales are for $998. Now, I'm going to put you in a class for 90 days on Saturday to learn more education for you if you want to put it here. We always offer you a $1,000 card like the one in my hand. Now, I've done this for 43 years. Give people twice the money or 10 times the money they invest in themselves to take away their excuses. So what happens is it's $499. Half price. I'll rebuild your credit, wrap a rescore, seal your record, get you the score, and I'm handing you a $1,000 card. That's twice as much you invested in yourself. If you Zelle during the webinar, I change it to $5,000. That means you Zelle now. From there, starter package for a millionaire. How many of you would like to have a $1 million paycheck? Raise your hand as high as you can. By the way, you only keep $375, the rest goes to the IRS. How many of you want $1 million coming into the corporation? Pay all the bills first, then pay tax on the leftover. Raise both hands and say, I do. See, the IRS is simple. It's public record. Corporations don't pay tax till they make a profit. If I make you the qualified CFO you need to be, hand you the articles also as tax ID, and I put you in a setup class every Wednesday and Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or level 1 for divisions 2, what excuse you got now? The office sells it for $1,999. Webinar live, I give you half price because I'm building you $10,000 of credit. So that means for $999, if you Zelled it right now, I'm building you $10,000 of credit, but I'm changing that to $15,000 if you Zelled it now. If you call when I'm done, talk to sales. They can't increase the credit at all. The Millionaires in the Making, same as the previous one, all the goodies, and I do the work for you anyway. But here you get $25,000 of credit. I always give you half price off the $4,000 price. That's $2,499 today. If you Zelled that instead of $25,000, I would pop you $40,000 of credit. Again, that's Zelled during the webinar to get the $40,000. If you give me referrals for anything they buy, that's up to them. I'll always increase your credit by $1,000. That's half the fun. So remember today, please, if you're watching me on Google, Facebook, and YouTube, if you're not getting the PowerPoint in front of me, get to RaisWebinar.com, get the full overview, and learn not to bring the pain home ever again. Now, here's what I heard when I was 7½. You ready to write it down? It's not legal advice. It's chapter 18. Let's read it together. Line 1 says it right there for you. A corporation's a legal person. It may sue or be sued. You don't get it. There's 300 ways to use a corporation being a legal person. Legitimately. The United States of America Incorporated. They set up their line of defense called states. All states are corporations. States set up their line of defense too. Every city's a corporation too. Why haven't you? Why haven't you set up your line of defense? You brought the pain home and you never had to in the first place. So you have to let me repackage your life. It's the only way you're going to go get it. So you are we the people, by the way. It's about time. It's your constitutional right, by the way, too. Nixon took the gold standard out. They've been printing money 24/7. You got your SSN like I did as a teenager, probably, to get the job to get a 1040 tax return to connect the dots. Mama delivered a baby at the hospital this morning. And you know what happens? Every hospital is federally mandated to hand Mama an SSN form for the baby. So they're allowed to bond the baby and print some more money. Again, if Mama don't do that, baby's not going in the stroller. Of course, he can't go home. Mom will sign the SSN form, by the way. So stop bringing the pain home. The reason you see grocery stores and banks with locations shut down, they bankrupt a piece. They're still in business today. Before my coma, my office was in Irvine Spectrum. It was only 2 stories high, 22,000 square feet. Every Saturday at 1 o'clock, I give you your status updates, by the way. The worst thing I'm ever going to ask you is to do 2 things. The faster you follow through, the faster I can pop your credit. Don't hold us all back, because it'll be up to you to follow through. Now, Walt Disney, Newsweek, they call him the loophole king. They didn't want to pay tax on $1 billion. You know what they did? They wrote an IOU to themselves. They paid no tax because they know how to play. If Mickey can play, so can you. Isn't it about time you do the same thing too? Personal credit. Put it aside. Call it safety. I know online you're going to see some things that go, trade line. That's crap. You don't have to guarantee. That's BS, by the way. In the beginning of any corporation or business, you need some money. You got to pay the lights, the rent, the employees. I always give you cash credit in the beginning. 8 cards per division, 9 lines of credit too. Then we decide if you want supply credit, vendor credit, marketing credit, lease credit, and gas cards too. At the end of the day, I got to rebuild you to be the qualified CFO you need to be. It'll be up to you to let me do this for you. Now, I'm going to tell you your house and your car and these gold and platinum cards in my hand. As long as they're paid over time, all right, you can push them up to $1 million. It doesn't affect your credit score at all. It's the only thing that does not go up and down based on the usage. So I like to get you a corporation. I like to have 9 divisions too. You want $1 million? Let me know. See, every division there should represent a piece of property, a line of credit, and basically a franchise too if you want it to. Remember, credit rebuilding today is half price through me, $4.99. Instead of $1,000 card, if you sell it during the webinar, it's $5,000. The starter package for Millionaire, half price is $9.99 today. Instead of $10,000 of credit, you get $15,000 of credit if you sell it during the webinar. The Millionaires in the making, half price because you're getting $25,000 of credit, is $2,499 today, and you're getting $40,000 of credit if you sell it during the webinar. If you don't sell it during the webinar, talk to sales. They will not increase it at all. By the way, the blueprint call only comes from me. Nobody gives my time away for free. I'm $3,000 an hour, and I'm usually booked months at an end. So if you want the free call, you sell during the webinar. If you do it afterwards, you don't get the call, and you don't get the increase on the basically credit line too. You sell, you sell, you sell. Pretty simple to do. You let Gina know as well. Now, I studied Mr. Buffett's father first, and I studied him. This man is playing the game. I love it. I just laugh every time he buys another company. He used borrowed money, which is not taxable, and then he used stock. In other words, he got the company for free. Just like his 100 companies, or Ketchup, Geico, Coca-Cola, American Express, Duracell, Dairy Queen, Seas, Candy, Bridge, Chewy, even Fruit of the Loom. This man's playing the game. Why aren't you? You could be playing too. I'll tell you, authorized users crap. Trade lines are crap too. Still got to make you the qualified CFO at the end of the day, period. So I've got my specialty classes starting this week, and I'm going to do one every day. I got 7 of them. I want to do them every week from now on. That way you get stuck with me and no excuses why it took so long, because usually that's because you basically dragged your feet a little bit. Now, when it comes to daisy chaining of credit, all right, I invented that years ago. God gave it to me to give it to you. There's 113 ways to daisy chain credit. Now, the Irs rules are pretty simple. It's public record. You can't write off personal credit cards or interest rate at all, but a corporation can write it all off. Isn't it time you use the right credit to build that business today? So let's remember something. It's pretty simple to do. There's only 1,000 rules to get to $1 million company. So don't have the intent to defraud or rip anybody out, please. Here's the corporation. I'll set it up for you. Create the line of defense. Teach you how to do divisions too. And then what we did, we created the line of defense. Those are the ducks. Something goes wrong, what are we going to do like they did? Like the city, the grocery store, the bank? We're going to disconnect, isolate, incorporate. Can't save the piece. We might have to bankrupt that piece, keep the other pieces, but you know what we're not going to do? We're never bringing the pain home ever again. The bottom line is you have the ability to listen and learn. It's like when you bought your house. Should have been escrow closed. Escrow, homestead escrow, put it in a trust. Somebody sues you and it's not in a trust, they probably take it away. If you die, get stuck into probate, your family got diddly squat. You might want to think about when you fix up that property today, you're going to hire a contractor that hires a subcontractor. They probably stand outside Home Depot. They're good workers. What if they cut every corner they can and they slip and fall and sue you and take everything you got? Why don't you think about any property you get and maybe quit claim deeding it to a division? How about an assignment of equity? So if they ever try to sue you, they can't. End of the day, they get diddly squat. Why not? If you don't have a trust today, why don't you Google irrevocable trust? It's what I would pick if I was you. But you got to pick whatever you want to. Now, please don't play peekaboo with the IRS and make a mess, please. The IRS is the rule book. They'll tell you corporations pay tax when they make a profit. So why would anybody try to circumvent the IRS and make a mess? If you did it hypothetically, go to irs.gov. Download a form called 656 of 433 A and B. Get your COVID-19 check. Get your butt back in the system today. Now let's understand something flat out. I want you to do what I do to fix up properties. I set up my divisions to go to the manufacturer to save up to 70%. I don't want to pay a bill for 30 to 60 to 90 days anyway. I'm also one of the original OPMs, by the way. So if we use this correctly, we fix up their property, their money, escrow closes, it pays off the debt. Now you get up to $200,000 left over. Don't act like you're rich, because you're not, please. Have you had $10,000 to $100,000 in the past, and hypothetically you pissed it away and now you're broke today? Can you please write down Ray's Rules, leveraging money? Can you write down borrow money's not taxable? Set up the line of defense. Now, here's the Ray Reynolds University before my coma. It was 22,000 square feet, two-story building, Irvine Spectrum. Pretty simple. The bank would be at the office almost every morning going, Ray, what can I do for you today? Banks always kiss your assets when you got money. If you don't have a pot to piss in, they don't know your name. So let's remember something today. If you got that money from that escrow, you could have leveraged it up to $3 million. Banks borrow from the feds times 10, and loan back to you 5. What if we did that correctly and we learned to leverage money, use Ray's Rules, and why don't we get a McDonald's today that has a drive-thru that stays open through a pandemic? What would you like to do? You're going to have to beat your doubt, run your race. I just like to coach you the rest of my life if you allow me to. Ultimate goal, sounding like leveraging. Why don't we take $100,000 on a card, take $50,000 off the card? Why not? The payment's only $6, $12, $26. The average person wastes every month. C-191D, it says loan, does it not? What if I loan it and I take $50,000, loan $10,000 to 5 people? I put a second on their house, a homestead blocker, UCC wanted the chattel mortgage, something I invented 30 years ago too. They don't pay, I get all their goodies. What did I do? I just created $2,449 of cash flow per month. Once you get it, corporate credit can allow you to set up cash flow, all right, and free up your time. Would you like 4,800? Would you like 7,347 or more? You got the ability to do this if you want to. Me, I won't show you anything I'd obtained myself from the mansions, the helicopters, the yachts. I think you're going to have to get past go. God's gift was this. It's where I parked my race butt and my yacht in my backyard. Where you park yours again? Remember today, the reality is it's pretty simple. I like the corporate yacht, helicopter, Lamborghini, buildings too. Write down on that tablet. Change your driver's license. Maybe you'll listen, maybe you won't. Change your driver's license to a P.O. box or mailing address. Why? You wrote a check the other day. You gave them your address. When you were at work, they robbed your house. You wondered how they knew where you lived. I don't know. By the way, you connect usually the dots. Remember Ray's Rules. Never bring the pain home. Why don't you use the privacy? It's called the Driver's Privacy Protection Act after the Schaefer bill. You bought a car? What did you do? You let someone sweat you for hours on end. You lost up to $5,000, up to 9 inquiries too. When they handed you that paper, says we need your permission to run your credit, next to your signature you should have wrote down this allows 1 inquiry. You should have took a picture. Unfortunately, you didn't do that. And guess what? You got those 9 inquiries. My question to all of you is simple. Why is the car you drive today registered to you in the first place? If it's registered to a division under a tax ID, you're never the duck. The bottom line is, guess what happens if you're the duck? Let's think. I like the goodies, the Lamborghinis and the buildings and the Ferraris too, wouldn't you? Get your dream corporation through me. I'll hold your hand and coach you every step of the way, and I'll do most of the work for you too. So when you drive your car to the grocery store and the bank today, and you bump someone's car accidentally and go bumpity bump, they're going to scream like they got whiplash. Ah, I'm going to die. Then they're going to ask you for driver's license, insurance, registration, please. All right, now your heart fell out of your chest. Then you're going to, I wish I would have listened to Ray. I hear that almost every day. You know the corporation could have paid for the insurance instead of you. Oh, you're the registered owner? Oh, goody, you're a duck. They're going to call those nasty bloodsucker attorneys on TV you see every day. And they're going to sue you and take everything you got. But if you listen to me and get your butt to the workshops, you learn that the registered owner of any car should be a division of a corporation, not you. That way they can get diddly squat. Why not? It's about time you protect your ass. And quit bringing the pain home. Those grocery stores and banks know how to play. It's your turn to play. Don't bring the pain home, not even today. There's a pattern of 3. If everybody had that right out of school, guess what? It would have never brought the pain home in the first place. Now, my wife asked me on July 3rd, 2009, honey, can we take the corporate yacht and watch the fireworks with a group of people? Sure, honey. I took it from the largest U-Dock. That was our backyard, by the way. We owned that, too. At the time, I said fill it up. It was $1,600. I wrote off the car, the interest rate, and I wrote off the yacht, too. Hell, why not? I didn't know someone's going to come on my yacht with swine flu and pneumonia and kill me. There I am. Now I know what I look like when I'm dead. Oh, well. H1N1. I made a promise to God that day I'd help people the rest of my life. That's why I'm here helping you. Ultimate goal is up to you to listen and learn. 5 weeks coming out of that coma, walking with an oxygen tank. I put my personal credit score back to an 820. I popped a $1 million card again because I have my closet divisions. Write it down, you'll master that in level 3. God's using me to help you today. You going to pay attention? Please do. Now let's look at a Lamborghini in a building under tax ID. You know what? It's called reaching the dream. Think it'd be the impossible. I've been told no a billion times. I got used and abused as a kid, and I just got pissed off so I could read everything I could to put the blueprint together for me. I don't believe it exists today unless you get it through me, period. I'm tired of listening to blah, blah, blahs. At the end of the day, you got to learn how to use Irs Rules and tools. You see, all I need is 90 days to get you in that direction for the $1 million dream. Seminar, workshops, and boot camps. Get the information here. And I also have my specialty classes now, one every day. That's 25 broadcasts I do per week, live, not pre-recorded crap. So motivation, I like it too, but I don't want to hear about someone else's story. I want to hear about you. Let me get you an 820 credit score. Let me get you up to 100,000 of credit, safety credit. Let's get you a corporation with divisions up to $1 million credit. Stop bringing the pain home. And get stuck with me, because I'm your what's next, by the way. It's only 1,000 rules to get to $1 million company. It's pretty easy to do. So today, please, let me repackage your house, your car, your bank account. Let's teach you the rules and the tools. The 18 books and CDs, everybody needs it before we run out of stock, so they can listen and learn while they get to the workshops with me. I give a discount when it's on the webinar. Instead of the $9.99, you get half price. It's $4.99 to you if you Zelled it during the webinar. If you didn't, that's okay. Talk to sales. They like getting their commission too. Or you could Zell it and let Gina know. She'd ship it right away. Credit rebuilding is simple. All right, Rapid Rescore 2, today's half price. It's $4.99. I build you a $1,000 card. If you Zelled the $4.99 before I'm done, which will be in a few minutes, I'll build 5,000 of credit. Starter package for Millionaire, 90 days of workshops, articles, CFO, $10,000 of credit. Half price is $9.99. And if you Zelled it during the webinar with me, I change it to $15,000 of credit for you. The Millionaires in the Making is usually $4,000 for $25,000 of credit. All the goodies, CFO, and classes with me for 90 days. Half price is $2,499. If you Zelled that during the webinar, I change that to $40,000 of credit. But again, if you don't Zell it right away, talk to sales. They cannot increase the amount. All right? 14th Amendment, corporations into people. That's kind of nice too. Remember something today, please. The United States of America Incorporated, they mastered their 50 states line of defense. What did the states do? Line of defense who called cities. The cities. This is your chance to listen and learn that you should have did this right out of school, by the way. Today, never have joint credit. Buy a house, escrow close, escrow homestead, escrow put it in a trust. Corporation, up to $1 million of credit. Division, subsidiaries, and more. We've got to learn to have to set up the line of defense. There's always something going to go wrong. Learning Irs Rules and tools. Master that here, please. Understand something today. Safety credit. The world shouldn't use it to abuse their personal credit, act like it's free money. We should use 29%, using just in case blank hits the fan. Line of defense like the city, like the bank and the grocery store do. So you don't have to bring the pain home if something goes wrong. Bottom line today, everyone talks about the American dream. But if they're not handing you the money, the credit, how are you supposed to really go get it? All right, hearing someone else's story, no, I want you in the workshops with me while I do the work for you too. You see, you got to receive money every month. You got to pay your bills. You got to drive a company car. You got to go on a business trip. No more vacations at all. You got to help other people and free up your time. You have the ability to set up the line of defense. See it, believe it, go get it. That's all you got to do. Master Irs Rules. 1,000 rules is $1 million company. 20,000 is billionaire. How far you want to go? The ultimate thing at the end of the day is pretty simple. Stay safe, stay strong. If you find yourself sitting waiting for what's next to come, let it be you and me. Let's build that relationship. Let's always remember life is a gift from our Father in heaven. God has given us the opportunity to believe and receive. Let us make the best of the day and give thanks in every way. Thank you, Jesus, for one more day. Amen to that. All I know is, as a kid, used and abused sucked. Being dropped off the pier, freezing, stealing, begging, sucked. All I know is my mother and father didn't want me. They threw me away like a piece of shit. That's the way it is. She gave me a girl's name and raised my middle name. I've had to fight all my life, but I did one thing. I want to prove everybody wrong. And on top of that, I used the brain God gave me. If I can bring in billions of dollars into corporate structure by the time I'm 26, so can you. And if you don't listen today and these aren't turned on, sorry. Go back to being stuck. But that's on you. Now, if you didn't sell anything during the webinar to get the extra bonuses from me, at least take that phone number, call it right away, talk to someone in sales. It's 800, it's toll free. It's 510-3338. Give them a call right now so you can basically change your life and get into the workshops with me. Remember, starting this week, I'm doing 25 broadcasts per week. All live, up to 3 to 4 times a day. I don't like pre-recorded crap because people need help starting today. So let's get you to go past this too. And remember, if you're not calling 800 toll-free, 510-3338, I can't say it anymore. 800-510-3338. Bottom line is, never forget at the end of the day, God loves us all.